The driveway was never much to look at, just a stretch of cracked asphalt, worn and forgotten. But tonight it was transformed. Tonight it was a battlefield. 3 cars stood there, lined up like trophies, a cherry red Porsche, a matte black Range Rover, and a sleek silver Tesla. They gleamed under the streetlights, polished and perfect, each one a symbol of a truth I wasn't ready to face. My heart pounded as recognition hit me. I'd seen these cars before, parked outside that exclusive restaurant where my wife claimed to attend her so-called conference for the past 3 months. And there she was, Elena, standing at the end of the driveway, wrapped in elegance and lies. Her designer handbag dangled from her shoulder, her golden hair perfectly styled, catching the light in waves of practiced beauty. Even the silk scarf around her neck, a gift from me on our anniversary, seemed to mock me now. She hadn't seen me yet. The illusion of her carefree grace was intact, but that changed the moment my car door slammed shut. The sound cracked through the night like a gunshot. Elena turned, her smile freezing when she saw me. And in that instant, the facade crumbled. The fear in her eyes was quick and fleeting, but it was there, alongside guilt. A shallow, superficial guilt that never quite reached her voice. "David," she said softly, her tone sweet and practiced, designed to soothe. "You're home early." "Early?" I repeated, my voice low and dangerous, each word a warning. "Early enough to see the truth. I tracked your conference, Elena. I followed you. I watched you." The blood drained from her face. "David, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation." "A reasonable explanation." My voice rose, sharp and cold. "For 3 luxury cars belonging to the same man parked in my driveway? Is that the story you're going with?" Panic flickered across her face. The polished veneer of sophistication cracked further. She opened her mouth, but I stepped closer, cutting her off with a voice like a knife. "Don't!" I hissed. "Don't even try! I saw you! I saw him! I saw the way you laughed, the way you touched him! And you thought you could just walk back into this house, into my life, like none of it happened?" The anger I'd held back for months, years, surged forward. This wasn't just about her betrayal. It was about the lies, the deceit, the slow death of the love I had believed in with everything I had. "He's a client," she whispered desperately. "A very important client. It's business." I laughed then, a harsh, bitter sound that cut through the night. Business? Is that what we're calling it now? Business dinners at 5-star restaurants? Business meetings filled with stolen glances and whispered secrets? She reached for me, but I stepped back, the touch repelling me. "Don't!" I said, my voice thick with emotion. "Don't you dare touch me!" I turned and walked toward the house, her frantic calls falling on deaf ears. The 3 gleaming cars behind me weren't just his. They were monuments to the broken. Pieces of my life. Symbols of every lie she had told and every dream she had destroyed. Inside, I moved with a calm born of cold fury. I grabbed my phone and made the first of many calls. The first was to my lawyer. The arrangements for our dog Buster were swift and efficient, carried out with a businesslike precision that stood in stark contrast to the emotional storm raging inside me. After that, I called my accountant, then a moving company. Elena's desperate pleas and tearful sobbing became nothing more than background noise as I methodically dismantled the life we had built together. But this wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity, my sanity. It was about cutting away the toxic vines that had been slowly choking me for far too long. The next few hours passed in a haze of packing and phone calls, each one another brick in the wall I was building between us, between the life she had, shattered, and the new one I was determined to forge. The following day was even more merciless. I filed for divorce. I moved to freeze her assets. For 3 months, I had meticulously gathered evidence. Her extravagant lunches, her designer wardrobe, her frequent trips, and the opulent gifts from her so-called client. My lawyer was pleased. The case was airtight. As the legal wheels turned, Elena's carefully curated world began to crumble. The man I'd identified as Marco was blindsided by the swiftness and precision of my actions. He had believed her lies, her assurances that she was already separated. Now faced with a legal storm and the truth of her deception, he distanced himself. The symbols of her supposed success, luxury cars and expensive tastes, became bitter reminders of her betrayal. Word spread swiftly through her social circles. The image she had so painstakingly crafted, that of the perfect wife and thriving businesswoman, shattered like glass. The whispers started, the judgmental glances followed, and soon she found herself ostracized. Her life, built on deceit and illusion, collapsed under the weight of truth. From a distance, I watched it unfold, a quiet satisfaction settling over me, not out of spite, but from the knowledge that I had survived. I had been hurt, betrayed, humiliated, but I had also found the strength to rise again, to reclaim what was mine. The anger still smoldered, a quiet ember inside me, but it was tempered by peace and resolve. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. Elena walked away with far less than she had anticipated, a harsh consequence of her dishonesty. The life of luxury she had chased slipped through her fingers, along with her social standing and the man she had hoped would secure her future. She had gambled and lost. As for me, I found peace. The house felt empty, yes, but not in a painful way. It was a clean slate, a fresh start. Buster remained by my side, his unwavering loyalty a balm to my wounded heart. One quiet evening, long after the dust had settled, I sat on the porch with a glass of wine. The silence around me was no longer filled with the echoes of our failed marriage. It was a peaceful, comforting stillness, a promise of the life ahead. The pain lingered, but alongside it was something stronger: hope. The storm had passed, and with its end came a new dawn, a future that was entirely mine to shape.